Thank you very much, and thanks for giving up your time this afternoon so I can have a chat with you. It's been a busy week, and therefore it's very nice to be here with you, and I'm really looking forward. I think I'm going to come round from table to table. But I wanted to talk to you because I wanted to have the opportunity to say that I know that whatever's going on in the world, and it's volatile out there in the world at the moment, and whatever's going in the turmoil of politics, there's been quite a lot of that going on in the last few days, I know that for you and for millions of people, what matters most is the cost of living. Actually paying the bills, getting through, improving living standards, public services that work. These are the things that matter hugely for people. They're the things that we were charged with changing when we won the election. And I know that's what matters most, from personal experience. When I was growing up, we didn't have enough money to pay our bills. And I know what it feels like to sit around the kitchen table worrying about the fact that you can't make ends meet. And that's what people are doing across the country. And our job is to change that. But I also know it's the most important issue that we must focus on, because I know what I'm fighting for and who I'm fighting for. I've got the most working class cabinet in the history of this country sitting around my cabinet table. And I'm really proud of that. Really proud of what they bring to the table. Their personal journeys to get there. Their experiences. But it is utter nonsense to suggest that that means everybody gets a fair chance in life. Utter nonsense. I feel very strongly about this. I'm in that cabinet as Prime Minister, having come from a working class background, to be Prime Minister of this country. But that's the exception. That is not the rule. Even within my own family. My brother, who died last year, he had difficulties learning when he was growing up. He spent his adult life wandering from job to job in virtual poverty. This system, this political system, didn't work for him. And there are millions of people in the same boat. Children in poverty, young people who don't get the opportunities they deserve, millions of people held back because of a system that doesn't work for them, who are not given the dignity, the respect, the chance that they deserve. And I'm fighting for them. I am their Prime Minister, and this is their government. And I will never give up on that fight. There are some people in recent days who say the Labour government should have a different fight, a fight with itself, instead of a fight for the millions of people who need us to fight for them. And I say to them, I will never walk away from the mandate I was given to change this country. I will never walk away from the people that I am charged with fighting for. And I will never walk away from the country that I love. And that is the country who I truly believe we are, a compassionate, reasonable, live and let live country, a diverse country, where given half the chance, we'll help each other out. That is who we are as a country, and I want to serve every single part of that country. The country that I love. But the fight coming up in politics, the real fight, is not in the Labour Party. It's with the right-wing politics that challenges that. The politics of reform. The politics of divide, divide, divide. Grievance, grievance, grievance. That will tear our country apart. That is the fight that we are in. And I will be in that fight as long as I have breath in my body. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm now looking forward to a nice cup of tea. Thank you very much. Thank you. I was reliably told that there was a gentleman in an Arsenal scarf here, so if you'll forgive me, I'm going to start there, and I'll come round to see the rest of you. Thank you. I think there were some people had questions for me, so should we take some questions? Or I should actually say, any contributions, because it doesn't have to be a question. You're entitled to tell me what you think. But let's start with you, because you've also got great judgment.
Affordable rail.
Yeah.
We've frozen the rail fares this year. What's next? What's coming forward?
Well, so rail, really, really important, because what we've tried to do is take a number of measures that tackle the cost of living. So measures like energy bills, where we're taking £150 off the bill, free childcare, free school meals, free breakfast clubs. But a lot of people travel, particularly from here, will travel and have season tickets to get to work and back. So what we've done is, for the first time in 30 years, is to freeze rail fares, to keep a cap on them, to make sure that people have more money in their pockets. So that's why we've done what we've done with rail fares. And it's really important these things ladder up. Each one is not a silver bullet, but if you take all of the measures, and of course the minimum wages are going up as well, it means people have more money in their pocket to go back to that central concern of how they make ends meet, how they get on in life. Let's have another question or contribution or comment.
Thank you. My question's about energy bills, and this winter I've been pleased to notice that my fuel bill hasn't been as high because it's been damp as it is today, and it hasn't been as cold. So what's the government going to do for us going forward if we have a cold winter ahead next year?
Yeah, so really good, because I think for many people the energy bill is the one at the moment they worry about the most, particularly in the winter period. And so what we're doing is, in April, we're taking £150 off the energy bills for every single household. So £150 off the bill. For those 6 million who are the sort of poorer households in the country, we've already taken 150 off. So for them, there's both elements of this, which is really important. I should say there's another element of this, and that is what's going on internationally, because the conflict in Ukraine doubled your energy bills. So Ukraine isn't some distant conflict where it's a battle between right and wrong, which it is, and we stand with the Ukrainians. It's actually something that comes effectively through your letterbox every month, because the bills have gone up. They're still 40% higher because of the conflict in Ukraine. So the work we're doing internationally to try to get to a just and lasting peace in Ukraine, which is really important in its own right for Ukrainians, for Europe and for us, is also really important for getting our energy bills down. And that'll get it down by a lot more than £150. So both of those need to come together. Is there anything more you would do?
Oh, I don't know.
But it does worry, I mean, energy bills really worry people, because they then don't turn the heating on, don't turn it up so high. These are all the things that ladder up to people feeling, I'm not getting the deal I should be getting in life. I'm not being able to do what I should be able to do. And it really, really matters to people. Who else has got a question? Yes, sir.
The child poverty strategy that came out in 2025 is really strong. What my question is that with resources getting really stretched, you know, a housing association calls them a tenant, GP calls them a patient, school calls them a pupil. They're the same people, the same issues. And how do you get these different silos to communicate, use it as a framework, to collaborate more, so resources and funding can be used to really support the families that everyone wants to live?
Yeah, hugely important, because in all of these issues, but child poverty is an example of them, there's usually lots of things that need to be dealt with, and they are usually dealt with in slightly different compartments, and we need to bring it together. And doing that, the reason we've got a child poverty strategy is so it can go across the department. So it's not just in one of the silos, it's actually across all the departments. And it all comes together because there's a two-child benefit limit which has dragged hundreds of thousands of children into poverty under the last government, for which they should never be forgiven, frankly. But at the same time, there's the work that needs to be done to ensure that people get more money in their pocket through wages that actually reflect the job that they're doing, wages that if their minimum wages are rising. There's the work that needs to be done on free school meals, which we're rolling out to a much greater extent, free breakfast clubs. But that's not just about money, that is also about giving children a chance. Because if you arrive at school with no breakfast, you're not going to learn very much. Whereas if you go to a breakfast club, get something to eat, you can have a better chance. And so that child won't be held back. And it goes back to this business about being held back. Children in poverty struggle to reach their full potential. There is shed loads of evidence to that effect. So the policy of holding children back in poverty is a policy of holding children back from their potential. And it is, a myth to suggest that people can go as far as their talent will take them. You can't go as far as your talent will take you if you're growing up in poverty. And that's why it is about money, but it's about who we are, what we believe in, and who we're fighting for. Did I see a hand over here? Yes, sir.
My name's Johnny. I work for a youth homelessness charity. So coming up on age range slightly from
To the homelessness generally? Yeah.
Certainly for young people, we know that the single biggest cause of youth homelessness is family breakdown. So I'm interested in what support those interventions that can be designed to keep families together.
Yeah.
So that we don't end up with a lost generation who are left without homes. So I think that's important, like prevention services.
Really important. I mean, on homelessness, we've put in £3.5 billion, so a record amount into homelessness. We put in 37 million to help organisations that are helping with homelessness, because they tend to know in their own patch what the best thing to do is. And so we need to provide the support so people have got a roof over their head. But the real way to tackle this is to make sure people don't get into that position in the first place. And that can be marriage breakdown, family breakdown, can be very often mental health, particularly with younger people, and of course poverty. So we need to put in the mental health provision, and brings me back to cost of living. We need to make sure that people have got adequate resource. The other thing that is really important is to get rid of no-fault evictions, which we're doing, because too many people have a roof over their head and then they don't have a roof over their head through no fault of their own. So all these things need to ladder up. Yes, we need to, where people are already homeless, provide the support to get them somewhere to, and it's not just a roof over your head, it is a roof over your head, that really matters, but you will know it's the other support that needs to go in around it. Otherwise, it tends to be temporary and relapse rather than actually a root off, but we need to get to grips with the root causes of it as well. Thank you very much. I'm going to have that cup of tea now, if you don't mind.